Hey Gemini, I hope you guys are doing great today. This is like crazy energy, is it not? Anyway, I'm gonna do the astrology for March. We're gonna end the reading with some tarot, do something a little different. I'm still gonna be doing my weekly tarot readings, but I am really excited about the astrology right now because we're Gemini, the Gemini energies are being shot out of a cannon right now. We're going to be feeling it a lot in, especially like our 10th, 11th house, our career, where we're going, our goals, our house of gains, lots of stuff going on, communication. We got fifth house energies thrown in there. We're going to talk all about it. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. My name is Jackie. To those of you who have never, are new to my channel, welcome back. To those of you who have been with me before, if you like my energy, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get right into the energies. And guys, before I forget, for those of you who didn't see my community post, can you believe I've been doing this for 2 years? Like, this is my anniversary. So it's been so much fun. So I am offering 20% off of all my services. If you want to just check in the description box below and use the coupon code that I did indicate there for the month of March only. Okay, as for however many slots remain open. Okay, all right, so let's get right into this. So we have March 4th into 5th. Jupiter and Mercury are going to be conjunct in Aquarius in your ninth house. So the ninth house has to do with higher education. The ninth house your ascendant descendant, with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the landlord in the ninth house. So where you are about communication and doing business, the negotiation happens in that ninth house. The higher education, the higher learning, the traveling to foreign lands, dealing with foreign cultures. It's your personal philosophy. The philosopher in you, right? It has to do with also it has to do with marketing and advertising, right? So these are all ninth house things. So lots of information is going to be flowing here. A lot of luck, a lot of synchronicities for you right now, Gemini. Really good energy for ideas, for teaching, really good for publishing right now. For those of you who have anything that you want to publish and get out there. On the whole, these couple of days are going to tend to be pretty quiet for you. It's the vibe is generally serene, but this is likely a time of calm before your next step of expansion right now, being honest with you, right? I mean, you guys are the north node of the moon right now. So there's a lot of, you're almost like the North Star for the zodiac. It's like everybody is looking to Gemini right now in that North Node energy. What do you have to teach us, Gemini? So it really is, there's going to be a lot of beautiful energy surrounding you. And I feel like now is when it's finally beginning. I'm going to talk about in a little bit why that is, why Mars has been like a real pain in the ass for us, but finally like leaving us alone and actually helping us out. But for now, right, the beginning of the month, it's pretty chill, but it's good. There's going to be kind of like a powerful and low key kind of growth to your poise and your tolerance in how you deal with people, situations, particularly having to do with work, having to do with, and not only what you do on a day to day, but even like what you want to do. And your mindset is just going to be in a very different space. You're going to be meeting new people, and new people are going to give you their faith and their trust. For a lot of you, old acquaintances and connections are going to be reaching out, and they're going to be very appreciative, and you're going to be very appreciative of them. And a lot of you, because of the Jupiter energy, a lot of you are going to be contacting like doctors and lawyers. Teachers, other professionals that can possibly expand your understanding, your comprehension, and really encourage your confidence right now in having to do something with your career and to help you out in some way. But you're going to feel more thoughtful. You're going to feel more thoughtful. You're probably going to feel quite introspective. Studies and conversations that you're having with yourself as well as other people are really going to focus on evaluations of what you've learned in the past, and then, and what you plan for the future, right? What you learned, and now, how to throw away the good, keep the bad, and move forward. A lot of you may be tapping into, if you follow any kind of organized religion, tapping into that element, philosophical concepts, making moral judgments. Again, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. It's all about that. And a lot of you may just be weighing some ethical considerations while deepening or shifting your personal philosophy right now. A lot of you are going to be going through this. And remember, um, because you have because you have Saturn, everybody's going to be hanging out in your ninth house. That really is the house of gifts, you know. So I really think it's starting now, Again, I don't mean to be repetitive, but if there's an underlying restlessness, and I know a lot of you have been feeling it, and there's this urge stirring within you to change, for change, right? That would give you more freedom and more a higher resonance with what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And again, this could be as basic as maybe having an itch to travel, mental travel, taking on a new area of intense approach or study, or anything. It could be literal, it could be metaphorical, but heed that, right? There's something going on here where you're going to be feeling this restlessness and this expansion. So really use it, use it. I do want to say, as an aside, really important month for Geminis to be, if you don't work out, figure out something to expend your extra energy. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of challenges sleeping, and a lot of challenges staying very focused on things. I just want to throw that in as an aside. That's sort of like a holistic evaluation of everything that's going on, that I wanted to mention to you guys. So, honestly, though, having this in your ninth house is going to be awesome for making plans. Anything that you're studying, those of you in that space, if you're a student or a teacher, doesn't matter. Student, teacher, you might even be both, great for marketing, great for publishing, training. You're going to be so focused on the long term. I love how this is working with Mars in your sign, in your first house of self, from March 3rd to April 23rd. And we had to talk about this for a minute, because this is really, has Mars in Gemini. I have to tell you, this happens once every 2 years. And so Mars has been feeling very, very stuck in the shadows for the past couple of months, January and February at least. And now it's going to make you feel almost catapulted forward, feeling braver than you have felt in a really, really long time, Gemini. So you guys are going to be feeling this very, very strongly, like obviously a lot more than a lot of the other signs, simply because it's happening in your first house of self. So really cool for you. Now, on the 10th to the 15th, I'm calling these very mystical days. They really are, because this is a crazy stellium in Pisces, right? So we have the sun is going to be conjunct both Venus and Neptune in Pisces, and this is going to be happening in your 10th house. So now it's time to take what you are working on in that ninth house energy, and focus on how you could bring it out into the 10th house of career and public reputation. So Neptune makes this energy really great for creativity, even planning. Just be careful of deception in this energy. Pressure could give you anxiety, and that anxiety is not unfounded. Now, this could be because of a person or a situation in your life that either they're unsure, you're unsure about them, they're insecure, you're insecure about them, or deceptive, right? Again, just because, whenever we have Neptune, gotta be careful when Neptune's in the house. It's a little smoke and mirror energy there. So you can just be feeling internally this way, like it's an itch that you can't reach. And there's this version of reality that you're envisioning that may or not be unrealistic or very exaggerated in the moment, or any plans or schemes that are presented to you right now may not work out. And they may work out, though, but you may be feeling like they won't work out. You can't even explain why you feel this way intuitively, and not that anything is even manifesting. So you just want to make sure that you don't run away with that. A lot of you are going to be feeling it, which is, I always say, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So let's just, put everything where it belongs. This could just be a little bit of this smoke and mirrors energy playing its little tricks on you. So just know, if you're feeling like that, just tell yourself, okay, this isn't real. This isn't real. This is why it's happening. All right. So just don't make any like crazy, I mean, it is a fabulous energy. Just don't like run off to Vegas and get married, right? Because 10th house, that also is the institution of marriage. Don't sign anything that you don't feel really confident about, anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's really good for like planning and sharing ideas, setting things up, but not a great, like, don't quit your day job so you can become like a camel guide in some sort of remote part of Egypt right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your day job. So again, when Neptune is in the house, our ideas can be built on either sandcastles or diamonds. It really can be. It's a crapshoot, right? It's one or the other. So just be careful. Pragmatically, this is a really, really good time to convince somebody of an idea. If you are needing to maybe convince a partner, a work partner, a marriage partner, anybody that you're in any sort of like bonded situation with. Um, Good energy for like a good soft sell, right? For your ideas, your consideration and approval. But this Pisces stellium is really an interesting one because the way the inner and outer planets are playing with each other, it's going to give you a feeling like something needs to be released. And it's like you've been inhaling within a situation for so long, and now it's time to exhale, even if you don't feel ready to. So it's almost like the credits are rolling at the end of the show. And what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do about that? How are we going to work that out? Are we going to change jobs? Are we going to do things in a different way? What are we going to do about that marriage situation? Like, what are we going to do about that partnership? So because those are, again, or your reputation, as well. How are you going to work that out? Your public reputation, your standing in the world, that's all 10th house energy. And it's really working very closely with that 9th house. So how do you even, like, what do you even think of all of that? Is that's really what that 9th house into the 10th house energy is going to bring. We have more energy going on in this 10th house for you. On March 13th, we have the new moon in Pisces in your 10th, and this marks the beginning of a new cycle in your career, Gemini. And the Aquarius new moon cycle ends, but new Pisces new moon comes in, and this is a really good time to commit to career goals that express the positive energies of the fish, which is about taking a leap of faith, accepting imperfection in ourselves and in others, and in a situation that maybe you didn't really up to this point think of as maybe perfect for you. Maybe it just needs to be looked at a little bit differently, or maybe you just need to work at something a little differently, maybe in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, instead of leaving the whole area, maybe you just need to do something a little different, like a different kind of perfection. Great energy to start working on a project that requires imagination, visualization skills. Really, this is for everyone, while consciously putting some time aside for activities that chill you out and recenter you, because this is the thing, we didn't get to it yet, but like in the 5th house, the house of play, you're going to be playing hard, you're going to be working hard. You just want to make sure you don't burn yourself out. And this energy is a very busy month for you. I mean, whenever we have Mars in the fire, it doesn't matter if we're Gemini, Aries, well, Aries especially, because Aries is ruled by Mars, but any of the signs, when they have Mars in them, it's like, so right now you're going to be all jammed up from Mars, but it's good. This is all like a really good energy, but make sure you recharge your batteries, because all work and no play is going to make you Gemini like restless and bitchy, right? Also great for talking things through with someone that you trust regarding like a project or a career move, or, you know what I mean? Even an idea about getting married, anything like that. It's very, very potent. Pisces energy is meant to help us make important changes in our lives, but we really have to be open and very willing to do the work. We really, really do. Very creative, very romantic with this alignment to Venus and Neptune. Venus and Neptune are approaching a conjunction in Pisces. That's going to be happening from the 24th to the 29th. And the major bodies are all direct, are going to be direct. So this is really going to be contributing to us feeling like we are moving forward on top of the Mars energy. So what I like here is there's going to be some healing in all of this, because Ceres is going to be conjunct Chiron and Aries at the time of this new moon. And Chiron is all about healing, so it's going to be giving us all a sense like we're growing, and it's going to be helping us to get in touch with our vulnerabilities, and our sensitivities to our vulnerabilities, and be more comfortably expressive about these things, and be more empathetic to people who we care about, as they expose those things to us as well. It really is like I call it like a real mushad kind of energy, right? It's like those of you who have any sort of Italian background know what I'm talking about there. It's like very sensitive. But now this phase of the moon occurs at 23 degrees and 4 minutes of Pisces. So this is going to be very strongly affecting those of you with like 19 to 20, 19 to 20, 27 degrees of any of the mutables. So, I mean, you guys are Gemini, you're immutable, but wherever you have your Virgo, your Sag, and your Pisces as well, it's going to be very significant for those energies, right? Now, moving on, March 20th, Happy New Year. We have the new astrological new year, one of the most important days of the year. The sun enters Aries. Lots of people believe that the astrological new year or this equinox is when Christ was born. So, depending on what you believe, which is an interesting little fun fact, you guys are having this in your 11th house of gains and goals, friends, connections, entrepreneurial efforts. It's the second house of money too. This is why we call it the house of gains. So you are the prime conversationalist of the zodiac. We all know that. And as that air sign, you're interested in everything and you have lots of opinions to share, which is amazing. And this spring equinox is a time to reflect on and develop those opinions and how you communicate them to people. Why do you feel the way you do? And how do you get that point across to people? Are you too overspoken? Are you not spoken enough? Are you holding back? And why? And why, right? I mean, we're in a weird world right now to even be asking that question, right? Silly almost to even be saying that because people who are holding back, and a lot of people don't want to get fired or they don't want to get canceled or whatever the heck, or other people feel super comfortable and don't care. But it's almost like there's always like the scale is that is the scale these days for whatever weird energy that is, right? That's the world we're living in right now. So right now you may be feeling a little more vulnerable and reactive than usual, and you're going to need to contend with your own humanity, meaning limits, right? But equally, like where you unfairly, again, limit yourself. If you truly want to grow on your path, where do you limit yourself? And you have to recognize that, like, where are you getting in your own way? Those of you who know your chart, what's going on in your 12th house? What are you keeping hidden? You know, um, and it's good to know your progress chart to see how you can possibly move past that. But, that's for another video. But anyway, situations at work can come up right now that allow you to gain greater insight into your higher beliefs and what you really want for long term. The thing is this, you can understand both sides of two paths or two situations really easily in this energy and still take a stand. So you need to take a stand and commit to it. It's so important for you to develop your ideas and continue to learn right now. Communicate, network, write, stay current with what's new on the internet to play with new ideas and make connections if needed, while also examining your own beliefs and what you want to gain from this new year. Like, what do you really want? Because this equinox is a moment of renewal, and it's perfect time to do that. It really, really is. It's a perfect time to do that. Now, from the 24th to the 29th, we have Venus and the Sun conjunct in Aries in your third house of communication, of siblings, of short distance travel, of your neighborhood, all kinds of communication, business, learning, all of that. Now, someone will be seeking your approval, though, regarding either, again, a business deal, online communication, can even be a sibling is going to be seeking your approval, or an extended family member. This is a great energy to pursue any sort of artistic interest, though, like painting, decorating, beautifying yourself or your surroundings, anything like that. Remember, anything Venusian, just with a little tune up, to things. Having a more chilled out attitude is going to be much easier and much appreciated at the end of this month. And at the same time, you'll be looking at how, again, you communicate, how you learn. For some of you, this will have you thinking about your relationship with your online community, an online relationship, your siblings, your extended family. And you're probably going to be super aware of how fair or unfair you're being handled in any of these areas. So if things have not gone in your favor, this is a great energy to effectively communicate, since you're going to be very at home in your own house, right? You're the landlord of the third house. This is a great omen to iron things out with those that you love. And remember, though, Venus does have a reputation of being slightly lazy and kind of indulgent. So avoid a situation It's like saying that you'll have that conversation another time. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to deal with that now, kind of thing. Or just waiting for somebody to reach out to you because you feel like you were the one that was wrong is going to result in sort of like a biting your nose off to spite your face kind of energy. So if something needs to be addressed and it's bothering you on some level, don't be the first. Don't be afraid to be the first one to make a move. This energy does support healthy conversation. And if they end up meeting you with like an unevolved foul attitude, you could feel good and peaceful in knowing that at least you tried and you took the high road, and that allows you to move on peacefully from that situation. If you're dealing with, right, because I could say the energy is supportive of a favorable outcome, but I can't account for or mitigate what somebody else's choice is as part of the human condition. Do you know what I mean? You might be dealing with somebody really difficult. And now we have the full moon for you guys is going to be happening in the 5th house. So you're going to want to have fun. The demands of your larger goals in life may have been up to this point eclipsing your ability to have a really good time and any sort of like pleasure seeking activities. So it could be hard to find time for everything that you want to do, but without creative self-expression, whether it's romantic, whether it's playful, you simply won't feel complete. So it really is a time to do something self-expressive, fun. You may be required to complete a creative project at this time. You feel an overwhelming need to pour your heart out to either a lover or some romantic affair reaches some sort of epiphany that you're involved in right now. And there could be a whirlwind of activities surrounding your children or a child. For you, Gemini, honestly, this truly is a real work hard, play hard kind of energy, and it's going to be lasting a few days, right? So just something to keep in mind. We do have, and just that Pisces stellium, though, I just feel like that's going to be so important for everybody to understand. Again, going back to that metaphor that I said about it's like reading the last couple of pages of a book that you're loving and you just don't want it to end, or those rolling credits at the end of a series that you've been completely entrenched in, and it's like, what happens then? And you being sad, but then you realizing later on, oh, okay, like I appreciate it for what it was, but now I'm on to this thing, and now I realize why that had to end. I know it seems silly, but that is really kind of the energy, because there is going to be this releasing, and it's something that you've been having a hard time releasing, but you're going to have an easier time, which is going to be very interesting, I feel like, for Geminis right now. So so that's what we have for that portion. Again, I'm still going to be doing the weekly tarot, but I'm going to do tarot right now. I'm going to drop the screen down and let's see what we have coming up for you. And then we're just going to keep this super general. Let me just move my mouse pad out of the way. I'm going to be keeping this very general. Let's pull the moon. Oracles always get stuck. Okay, let's pull moon oracles. A personal issue reaches resolution. Oh, someone else got this. Maybe Taurus, if you have Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Okay. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. All right. Maybe a situation having to do with a house, Gemini. Cancer is about the 4th house of home. There's something having to do with a parent. Anybody you're living with, or just the whole idea of feeling grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. Let's see what we have coming up. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Hello. All right, let's pull these down. You guys can see those. Over here. Hmm. 10 of Cups, 6 of Cups. So we have the Page of Wands coming into this. So this typically indicates a new cycle. It's personification of fire. So as a general influence, this is good news about a project that requires negotiation, a really busy time at work. This could bring a new offer. And the thing is with this offer, though, the status or the glitter of something might not be as high as you'd like or expect, but it'll still appeal to you in theory. Just make sure you read the fine print before signing or agreeing to anything. Well, I always say that anyway, but that's this energy does suggest that. And if this, you might be meeting somebody. If this is a person that you're meeting, they could be an artist, they could be a writer, or equally so, they could be a bit of a player, right? If you're in that space and relationship, because the ones, yes, it's will, it's motivation, it's passion, but it's also a phallic symbol, but it could also be a pen, it could also be a paintbrush. This is a hardworking energy, who's very creative, but this energy gets bored very easily, a little too easily, and moves on to whatever attracts them next. So if you're dealing with somebody, because like a low EQ, low emotional intelligence, just make sure if you're dealing with anybody new in relationship that they're walking their talk. You may be dealing with somebody very immature in relationship, and you want to make sure if that is the case that you are expressing yourself and you're not letting anybody get away with anything. Okay, so the situation right now, we have the Five of Swords. Yeah, so you might be you might be having a little situation with this immature energy. As the Five of Swords, Venus and Aquarius. So this is a clash of desires and reality, and tension and ongoing conflict that you're not going to win. And I hate to say it with this card, but it really is like, tuck your tail, take the anger and disappointment, and walk away with some grace, because you can't mitigate what somebody's issue is, and you can't make them change. And the more you have that conversation, the more you try to get them to see what it is that they're doing, you're just going to make a situation worse. In the same way as if they're yelling at you, it's not going to do anything. You know what I mean? It's like a situation beyond your control, because this is coming up as a situation for you. And we have this being crossed by the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is really a test, right? So it's a test of, for some of you, this could be a test of resources, right? If you're in a serious situation, like where if you're in business with somebody, or this could be your partner, this could definitely indicate financial issues, or at least a fear of financial issues, right? Where it's more mental, more psychological. So if so, consider new options that'll help you see a way forward, right? Because this can show you fearing a loss of security, or fearing not having enough, maybe losing your home. Like you might be fine right now, but you're afraid of losing something. And that's going to resonate with many of you. Others of you, this can show up as the pain of the aftermath of a breakup, or even if some of you have lost somebody, and if you have, I'm really sorry. But the thing here is, you have more support here than you realize right now. It's frustrating energy, though, because it's like you're fighting a fight that's not your fight to fight. You can't mitigate it, and then you're feeling this space of loss. Then we have the Ten of Swords, that is the crowning energy, and the Ten of Swords is endings. And there's a history here, there's a finality, and the release is something that releases you from frustration and stress, even if it hurts. This is the end of an era that, like, you're like, good riddance. Like, this was a hard time. Hard times, like one sword at a time over time. So now you could take whatever negative was going on and transform it into a healthier energy with fresh eyes and a new mindset. So really, this could have to do with any part of your life. This is a general read. So that relationship, that job situation, that family situation, whatever it is. But then look at the foundation, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So I don't know, somebody getting back with somebody, I don't know. This is in numerology. This is the Magician and the Sun. So this is about fate and change and a turning point. Good luck, fortunate, taking a chance. But it is a fortunate energy. But intuition, psychic ability, but could also indicate turning to something or someone from the past, or somebody just kind of appears out of nowhere. This kind of destiny at work here, right? So it has to do with relationship. An ex-person can come back from the past, but you really need to think about that last go around, Gemini, where you really have to figure out if that connection had good enough bones, as I always say, or strong enough foundation to make it work this time. And if so, awesome. You don't want to try to fit a circle and a square in this energy because then it won't go smoothly. But if this has to do more with career or money, good news is coming in, but please be sure to prioritize what's being asked of you and exercise your integrity while doing it. And just know that whatever's happening right now is very, very fated, right? Because this is Jupiter, and Jupiter is always, always in a very intimate dance with karma, as I say. So you just want to make sure that especially with that Mars energy, if you're feeling really frenetic or any kind of nervous energy, whatever you have to do, even if it's like lay down for 10 minutes with your feet elevated, hands on your belly, and do some deep belly breaths, breathe into your belly, not your shoulders, whatever it is, you want to really be very mindful of any of your nervous energy and doing the best that you can to control that. It's not your fault. You can't help it. It's Gemini, right? So we have the Knight of Pentacle energy as you right now. So Knight of Pentacles. So at this, as a general influence that could be impacting you right now, awesome, because this is about prosperity and financial growth and making some good investments regarding any business venture or even with a partner. Maybe you guys buying a house or doing something like that, right? Going to this full moon in Cancer kind of thing could certainly be that. But you might have to work harder than you are right now in order for it to be stable and secure. Now if this is a person that you're meeting, or if it's you, this is a loyal and dependable energy who's a lot to offer. The thing is, if you're in this space though where Gemini, what's so funny is you might be finding right now yourself to be if you're resonating with it as you being like very loyal and dependable right now, you might even be like, yeah, and I'm really boring right now. Right? It's like it's just because you're busy, and it's like there might be this lack of excitement in your life to really kind of like capture you right now, even within yourself. And it's probably because you just feel very busy. You feel very scattered. You have a lot of energy going on with Mars in there. So, but it's you're doing important work. So that's why I'm saying you have to almost like schedule fun this month. Make sure, because the reality is if you don't, it's the kind of energy where it's like you can really end up working like all day long, and you want to be careful to not do that, right? So we have the Seven of Swords energy, the external influence that's impacting you. And so the Seven of Swords, yeah, Moon in Aquarius, this could be like, is somebody being dishonest with you or immoral or running away from some kind of responsibility? Is there a person that you're dealing with in your life who you feel like might be overstepping boundaries or is acting kind of selfish? You need your instincts and your wits to figure out like the real deal of the situation. You may need to play them at their own game for a minute to find out what you need to know about this particular situation with this person. Somebody might literally be trying to like get over on you like financially as well. I'm gonna like scare anybody, but just watch out that nobody's trying to take your money or hide money or anything like that. Now we have your challenge here is the King of Swords, and I get it. I mean, the King of Swords is just very mental, focusing on the mind rather than the heart, taking charge of a circumstance, which is great, but there's no emotion here. And this is your challenge. And, obviously it depends what else you have in your chart. Well, none of us are just one thing, but it does seem like the Ten of Swords energy, the Wheel of Fortune, we have some energies going on here that it seems like it's going to be kicking up some pretty emotional energy for you. And your challenge is going to be to just stay in the mental. So if that's the case, seriously, like physically remove yourself from a situation. If you have to, you may have to, you may, just really trying your best to not allow your emotions to wash over you in a situation where you end up saying things that you end up later regretting. I love the near future energy because look at that. Who doesn't love a good 10 of cups? This is about family, contentment, Doesn't mean you guys, I mean, like, have a family or are married. I mean, it can be. It could be you be feeling really particularly close to your own, your first family or whatever family you feeling like family with a partner. Is about contentment, benefits of security. Great time for partnerships. What you've been working on very hard on will finally come together in all areas, really, right? The 10 is kind of like all areas. So communication, romance, business, family, the whole thing. Really, really nice. And then we have in the near future, we have the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is an interesting energy for you guys to get because this is about nostalgia and harmony in the past and reconciling. It's like reconnecting with maybe old friends, finding the right balance in relationship. If you've been suffering any kind of mistreatment, things will be remedied. All of this is really, really good. So I feel like this is going to be happening. I just think it's funny that the Ten of Cups, it comes in the near future, and that's the final outcome. So I guess it's this realization that you guys, whatever you're working on, is going to come to fruition. And because of that, any past wrongs are going to be righted. Righted. Is that even like a way of saying that? I do not think so, but is going to be corrected. When I speak the correct way. How's that? That's what I feel here. So having to deal with any sort of like even work situation, family situation, anything like that. Yeah, too, because you also have those energies going on in your third house, which is to do with extended family and siblings. So some of you may be, ironing things out with a family member, personal issues, reach resolution, full moon in Cancer, anything having to do with like an inheritance kind of thing. I'm getting a good vibe for that. Business, family. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. This is a nice reading for you, Gemini. That's at least what I have, for you right now. So let's see what we get next time. We'll see in a couple of days. We'll do the first week of March, having to do, what I normally do with the career and relationship and whatever, what I normally do. But I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.